Hello and welcome back, or hello if you're new. I have actually already filmed this and I am aware that it is the 24th of January and all the 2018 favourite videos were out the first week of New Year. But I did film this and it's a very cliche thing to say, but you know, it's plugged into the computer, working on it, and something happened to my computer and it's gone. The bloody file is gone, nothing I can do about it. So this video is going to be a 2018 favourites, because I figured if I am going to have a January favourites out next, I may as well let you know what my 2018 favourites were. So let's make this snappy and get through it as fast as I can. Okay, I'm going to work in the order I normally put things on my face. So, you know, base, foundations, then onto concealers, bronzers, blushers, highlights, blah, blah, blah. So starting off with my actual base, I thought I better warn you now that it's quite top heavy on the number 7 range. But why lie about things I'm using? This is genuinely what I used last year and what I was absolutely loving. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I'm not overly heavy on heavy foundation. I don't wear foundation every day. I prefer a BB cream. So we're starting off with a kind of primer, somewhat what I would wear either to work or what I would wear just days about the house, not even if I bother putting anything on at all. So the first thing is the Instant Illusions Rapid Radiance Balm. This is kind of like a foundation primer. I would say it's similar to that of the Laura Mercier foundation primer. It's kind of got a skin tone to it, but when you rub it when you rub it in, it goes, I would say, a more of a pink iridescence tint to it and becomes much more of a luminosity, a pink luminosity. That's the best way to describe it. It doesn't have any coverage whatsoever. I would say as well, kind of similarity would be that to the one the Kiehl's brand brought out last year. This costs £18 for 30ml, which isn't the cheapest in the world, but I would say I've had it since August last year, and it does have a 24-month lifespan on it. As I say, have used this. I regularly wear this to work and just some concealer under the eyes. I don't wear anything else. If you've got relatively clear skin and you don't feel you need a lot of coverage, this is a fantastic product just to give you a nice luminosity to the skin. And because I am a little bit paler, I find that a pink undertone is much more suitable to my skin than a gold one. So I absolutely loved this last year. I will probably repurchase this again. I want to try a few other products that are similar to this, but as a kind of drugstore choice, and I really like number 7, I think this is wonderful. I'm then going to move on to 2 more number 7 products. The first one is the Beautiful Skin BB Cream. This is for dry to very dry skin. It comes in other coloured bottles. This is the kind of purple one. But you can get it in other kind of for oilier skin, for normal skin, etc, etc. I wear the colour Fair. It has SPF 15 as well. I generally would use this again for days if I feel I need a little bit of coverage, but not too much. This is fantastic. I have bought several of these over the years, so this isn't just a 2018 favourite, but probably a kind of overall favourite of mine, and I think it does a wonderful job. This one retails at £14, which again, not the absolute cheapest. It's a 40ml tube, but it does last a very long time, and I feel it's a really good product, middle ground drugstore-y product. So highly recommend, and as I say, not just a 2018 favourite, but also just an overall favourite of mine. And lastly is number 7 Instant Radiance Foundation. My colour is Warm Ivory, which gives me a little bit more of a tan, but not so much that I look ridiculous. Like, this is something I can wear winter and summer. This also has SPF 15, so it's also really good for wearing if you want a little bit of SPF. I usually wear a higher SPF in my moisturisers anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. As you can see, I have nearly used up the whole bottle of this, and that is just proof in the pudding of how much I have enjoyed this. It's not massively heavy coverage, but gives me more coverage to feel like I'm not just wearing a BB cream, and I would wear this on an evening out, or if I have something to go to, a wedding, events, etc. Not that I'm going to any like YouTube events, because I'm not, but anything I have to go to that I feel deems that I have to wear a little bit more coverage and a bit of foundation and have my skin looking just that little bit nicer, then I would wear this, and it is absolutely lovely. I watched Sam Chapman of Pixie, which you all know who she is, talk about this, and talk about this with kind of drier, older and aging skin as well. And I actually put my mum onto this, and my mum's a fair bit older than myself and she absolutely loves it, and as a woman who is in her early 30s, I think it's wonderful to not make the skin look too heavy. So this is fantastic. This is actually cheaper than both the other items, so I think this is about £13, and all of the number 7 stuff I checked before I filmed this is on, can you guess who's below? And all of the number 7 stuff is on buy one get one half price at the moment, so if you wanted to pick up a few bits, then these are the ones to go for. Next I'm going to talk about Glossy Stretch Concealer. I think this is a well-known one. It was all hyped about when it was first released. I have actually went through a full tub of this, so again, testament to just how much I really enjoy it. I wear the colour Light. I want to say this is about £15 to £18. It's a fair size pot. It takes a wee while to get through. It says it has a 6-month lifespan. I used it past that and it was absolutely fine. I love it because it's not one of these concealers that you put on and then it sets down. Like, it doesn't dry, it doesn't feel powdery after. It kind of maintains that balm feeling, which a lot of people will really dislike. A lot of people will feel like, well, it never actually sets, you need to set it with a powder. But personally, as a lady who's starting to get a bit crepey under the eyes, I really enjoy that. It makes it feel much more moisturising and a lot more nourishing under the eyes. And I don't mind if it gets a little bit creasy, because then I just go and tap out and it's absolutely fine. This is one that I always wear. This is also something that is a staple in my work, and I don't wear a hell of a lot of makeup to work, but this is wonderful. I went online there to see actually what the price of it was. That's why I'm not entirely sure, and it says it's out of stock, which I hope to God it's not out of stock because they're getting rid of it. I hope to God it's just out of stock because everybody's bought it for some reason, but that seems a little bit strange to me. Absolutely wonderful. It might just be a little bit glossy heavy as well, this favourites, because I've been using them since I want to say 2017, and so all of last year they were a constant staple in my makeup bag. Therefore, the next thing I'm going to tell you about is the Glossy Halo Scope. It is in Quartz, that's the colour I wear. I really, really like this. This also retails for about £18, which I know is a little bit more expensive. You can buy stick kind of highlighting cream things in Boots and Superdrug, much more accessible as well. My thing is that this has that little balm bit in the middle that I feel gives you that more dewy, it's more of a gloss on the cheek, on the brow bone, wherever you're putting it, than just a shimmery highlight, and that's why I absolutely love it. I did notice that H&M had brought out gloss sticks, and they didn't seem to have the colour that this one has, but it seemed to be mainly the balm, so that intrigued me as well. I thought I would go back and have a wee look at them, but absolutely have used this to death and pretty much finished it. Again, it says 6 months, is it? 6 months. I've been using it past that. I'm probably about 8 months into this, and I will continue to use it until it's finished. I should also probably mention that the glossy things you can buy in sets as well. So I think initially I got Stretch Concealer, this, and Boy Brow in a set. They do like a daily staple set now that has their mascara and a blush in it as well. So you can do that and save yourself a bit of money that way. So you can buy, like, you know, 2 blushes for £25 and they're £15 each, blah blah blah. You save a little bit of money. It is more expensive, I am aware of that, but if you are interested in buying anything from Glossy, this is an absolute must. If you love that dewy, like almost glistening skin rather than a frosty look to your skin, this is perfect. In saying that, I am going to talk about a powder highlight as well, because if there was any powder highlight that I wore to absolute death last year, it was the H&M Delicate Pearl Highlighter. Nothing too fancy. This is £9.99 I want to say, which is kind of erring on the more expensive side for a clothing shop makeup brand, but it is really, really good. Now I would say this is more of a gold tint on me as opposed to that iridescent pink one, but not so gold that it's too dark. I've worn MAC Mineralized Skin finishes. I've tried Becca, what's the really famous Becca one? Opal, Becca Opal. God, seriously, getting too old for this. So I tried Becca Opal as well. They were just too much on my paler, fair skin. Hello, darling. There's cat's here. And I felt like they looked straight on. It looked like I was wearing something on my skin, whereas this is more of an iridescent one, and I much prefer that. So if I'm feeling I needed a little bit more than just the glossy, I like glossy for daytime, looking really natural, but if I'm going out in the evening and I feel I need a little bit more Tin Man going on, then it would be this one. I would also like to give a bit of a honourable mention. Well, no, not an honourable mention. It has most definitely been a favourite of last year, but it's the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Dim Light. I have a mini one. I'm so glad that I bought a mini one because actually I've probably only just made a bump in it. You know, like it was a dome, it's now a flat. And I've been using this consistently. As I say, I'm not a big wearer of makeup to my work, but if I wear the number 7 kind of Radiance Balm and a bit of concealer, this is what goes all over my face, all over the top, everywhere, and it's not too much. I am not a powder wearer. My skin is too dry, equally probably a little bit too old now to get away with wearing a powder. God, I'm really pale. To get away with wearing a powder, it crepes, it causes issues, it makes me look much older. But this is really subtle. Next time I will buy the full size of this for the simple reason I know I will use it up. But if you're dubious as to whether you like it or not, I would definitely recommend the smaller ones. Give them a go, see how you are with it, and if then you feel you want the bigger one, you can go back and get it. Now, bronzers. I'm not going to go into too much detail about Benefit Hoola Bronzer. I am absolutely certain that everybody knows about Benefit Hoola Bronzer. I really like it. I'm just moving the mirror out of the way. It looks very orange, and I am a very pale girl, and remarkably it doesn't really cause me to think, oh god, I look like an Oompa Loompa and I've been tangled. If I am in the sun for any period of time, then I am going to go more of a red toned brown than I am going to go an olive toned brown. So this, I feel, does that a little bit. It makes me look a little bit more, I've really just came out the sun, rather than looking nice and olive tanned, because I'm not going to go that colour anyway. So Hoola Bronzer, absolute favourite of last year. The second one I have spoke about previously before. I think I spoke about it in my summertime kind of video. It is the Body Shop Honey Bronze, and it's the gel version. It's in this tube. Look at mine, it's all used up and the marks have gone. Basically, when I spoke about this the last time in a video, I went on to see, oh, how much does it cost to put in the description box, and it was gone. And I was absolutely devastated. I was like, oh no, I can't believe it, because I love this stuff. It is very similar to the kind of liquid bronzer that NARS brought out towards the end of last year. I think it's wonderful, and again, it gives me that just out the sun. If you spend the day in the sun and you come in and you think, oh, I caught the sun today, it gives me that look as opposed to a contoured or really orangey tanned look. It's very natural, it's very easy to work with, it buffs out beautifully. So I want to highly recommend this, but it has gone. And in the January sales, I noticed that they put all of these on for like a £5 each or something. So they clearly have discontinued it and sold all the old stock, which, by the way, I picked up 2 tubes of. But you can't pick it up anymore. The only thing that I could probably recommend to say is kind of the same is they now sell the Honey Bronze in a pipette dropper situation, and you could maybe add that to foundation, or maybe you could give that a try and use it in a similar vein to see if it works. I can't say anything because I've never used it. I wish to God they still done this, and I'm not willing to pay the NARS version. It's just too much money. So although this is an absolute favourite, I'm really sorry you can't pick it up anymore. Okay, for blushers, it is Glossy Cloud Paints. I told you it was going to be quite heavy on the glossy as well. This is the colour Storm. I did have the colour Haze as well. I still do have the colour Haze, but Haze was the first one I bought, which is a much more plum kind of maroon tone to it. This, I would say, although looks very dark here, is more of a kind of terracotta, kind of mauve terracotta. Could you mix those two together? It just gives a nice like flush to the cheeks. I really enjoy it. I think it just makes me look like I've got a really natural flush to the cheek, whereas Haze is a bit more like you've been out and been frostbitten and it's quite pinky. This is much more subtle, even though it looks really, really dark here. But I really enjoy this. As I say, they're £15 each, which is quite expensive, but I love a cream blusher and this will last me a lifetime. It again says 6 months, but I've been using it well past the 6 months, and until it gets kind of gross or smells funny, I'll continue to use it past 6 months. Again, not something that I feel you need to rush out and try, but if you're going to try anything from Glossier, then stick one in your basket because they are fabulous. Now for me last year, I would say cream eyeshadow really trumped powder eyeshadow. I got much more into something I could just swipe on, smoosh out and go. Sounds so like, oh yeah, very good, like one colour eye. But I did get really into that, and especially in the summer, and even towards the end, if I was using a cream product, and then maybe I would use a powder over the top. But cream products were up here for me all over my face, never mind just eyeshadow. First of all, I would like to mention the Glossier Lid Stars. Again, are these £18 each? I can't quite remember. I will link everything down below in the description box anyway. But this one is Cub, and it is a kind of rose gold colour. So easy on a doe foot applicator. You just swipe it on. Generally what I'll do is swipe it on, pat over the top. Sometimes I will go in with other colours over the top, and this is just a nice kind of iridescent sparkle underneath, but it's easily worn on its own as well. This was probably one of the very first cream eyeshadows that I tried last year, but not the very first. I feel like I remember when I was little, my mum had a palette from Miss Selfridge. Now I'm talking when I was like 5 or 6, I remember this. And she had eyeshadows like this, like, I don't know if they were quite as creamy, but it was definitely like a powdered doe foot thing. She had them, I remember it's so similar. If anybody else can remember that when they were growing up, or can remember actually having it themselves, please let me know down below. But these are probably the first I've ever really tried. I would like to give a bit of an honourable mention to another brand, because I think these are such good dupes and so affordable. This is the Lottie London eye foils. Now I have two colours here. I have one in Savage, which is like pink with almost an iridescent gold green through it. I know that sounds awful, but it's absolutely beautiful on the eyes. And this one is called Faded. I think this one is so similar to the Glossier one. The difference being this is maybe a little bit more sparkle in it. These are anywhere between £4 and £5. I got mine in Superdrug, but you can get them online, lots of different retailers, and they're like a £5, and they do the exact same job. I'll pop in a little photo here actually. So at New Year I had another product that I'm going to talk about in a second, all over the lid, really dark, and then on the top I put the Savage one, which is like pink with some sort of goldy green colour in it, but actually on top of the dark colour it just looked like this beautiful frosted gold, and that was at New Year. And you just pop it on, smoosh it on my brush or your finger, and they're absolutely marvellous. So all about the cream eyeshadows. Keeping on trend with that theme, I also bought from NARS, is it Balbec? Balbec, yeah. I said Balbec in the shop the other day when I went in, and the woman pronounced it different, you know, that way, as if I'd mispronounced it. Balbec, B-A-A-L-B-E-K. Balbec. Anyway, so you could be forgiven for thinking this is a gel eyeliner, but they're what's called in NARS an eye paint. You can use it as a gel eyeliner, but also it's like a little solid kind of eyeshadow paint type thing. This is quite dark. I would say it's kind of a browny black, but with lots of gold flecks in it. And again, I showed you the picture a wee minute ago. That's what I had on as my base, smooshed it all out and then just tidied up round about it. But this is brilliant. This is one of these like definite smoky eye going out kind of rock chicky pots that I can just go all over, and it does exactly what I need it to do. So I'm absolutely loving these. These are £19. They are a little bit more expensive. They last 18 months. Again, I will use it until I cannot get any more use out of it. It certainly doesn't look like it's drying out anytime soon, and it is in a little glass pot, so hopefully it will keep nice and fresh for a while. But I absolutely adore these, and I probably would buy all of them if I could afford it in all the colours. But At the moment, this is the only one I have, and I loved it last year. Keeping with the cream eyeshadows, as I said, I was absolutely addicted to them last year. First one's kind of more high-end. It's a Laura Mercier Caviar Stick, and the colour I have is Copper. I would actually say it's more erring on the side of a gold, but look how shiny it is. You can't even see it in my light. Honestly, I can't even do it justice. It is gorgeous. If you have extra pennies or you want to treat yourself and you think, I would love one of those really quick creamy eyes, smoosh it on, go and look at these. Go and see them at least. There are lots of colours in the range. The one I got was Copper, which probably isn't the most wearable because it is really, really shiny. It's like a penny, a shiny penny. But if you even wanted something more everyday, like I put this on, then put other things on top of it. It's just beautiful. Even in the inner corner, it's gorgeous. I cannot say enough about these, but yes, expensive. So I have a kind of cheaper alternative because once I'd forayed into that kind of area, I started looking at cheaper alternatives, and e.l.f. have a really good no budge shadow stick. They come in different colours as well, and I think these are like £4.99 maybe. I think they're not over £10 anyway, that's for sure. And they come with a little sharpener in the end, which I didn't know about until quite recently. The colour I have is Metallic Mocha, and it is obviously much darker than the Copper, but again, very similar, and you can just blend it out, smoosh it on. They're wonderful, absolutely wonderful for the price range. Easily wearable, and I was in love with both of these last year. I would have every single caviar stick in every single colour, much like the NARS pot, but they're just too expensive. So if you're not into that and you want to try something in the cream eyeshadow stick range, give these a go, they're great. Now eyeliner, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about because I haven't been a really big eyeliner wearer in the last kind of 6 months anyway. If I go out of an evening, I do like a classic black flick, and if I'm doing that, then what I pick up is the Revolution, what is it called, Renaissance eyeliner? I wanted to say stiletto there because of the kind of shape of it, but I think it's called the Revolution Renaissance eyeliner, and it is a felt liner. It's not a brush, it is definitely a felt tip, but I absolutely love this. I've had this, I think I want to say 4-ish months, 4 or 5 months. It's still working no problem. I don't find it's drying out. It's so easy to use and so good. The staying power is fantastic. Again, it is budget friendly. I want to say £6 or something like that. I just know all this stuff is under a tenner. Like you can't go wrong with Revolution. Brows, all I'm going to mention is Glossy Boy Brow because I've got quite full bushy brows. I was blessed being quite a hairy child, and so I've got very thick brows, which I know a lot of people would be, oh, I would love to have big brows, but it came with its side effects as growing up as a child. But all I do is push some of this through most days. I don't tend to put too much colour in my brow. Again, if I'm going all out and wearing a bit more full face, then I might put a bit of colour through. Generally, as a rule, it's not something I do, but this is everything. This is what I use all the time. Again, I have actually tried other kind of more affordable products, and I just don't think any can stand up to it. So if you're gonna buy something that's not super cheap, then why not go for the one that you know works and is raved about by a million people? Big winner. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this because I've mentioned it in 100 million videos. It is Benefit's Roller Lash. I would like to give a little honourable mention to the Lancome Monsieur Beak mascara because I did use a whole tube of that as well, and I would buy it again. I just kind of went back to Old Faithful. Again, not just a 2018 favourite, but just an overall favourite. And actually at the moment I'm trying something different again, so we shall see if it stands the test, but absolute favourite, you can't go wrong with it, Roller Lash. Okay, so we're down to lip products. We are almost there, you will be glad to hear. If we are talking about, to me, this is as nude as I get, and even at that, it's probably more borderline pink, but I can't pull off a really nude lip. I'm too pale, I look really strange. My teeth look really yellow if I go too nude. So if I was to pick my favourite kind of more neutral toned lip shades or lip products, I would have to go for the Lancome Matte Shakers, and my colour would be Beige Vintage. This is the one I've got, and as you can see in the tube it looks so pink, so pink, but I would say it's more of a beigey mauve type colour. But this colour for me is definitely more of a neutral nude colour for my skin tone, and I really like these. They come in other colours. I was tempted to try the red one, but the red they had was almost quite orange, and for me orange just doesn't really suit on my lips, so I thought I'll go for the more neutral colour, and I love these. They're really easy to use. They have the little kind of funny sponge applicator. I find them, you put them on and yes, they will get a little bit dry, but you smush your lips together and it's quite easily solved. You can put a little bit of clear balm over the top. It doesn't cause any issues. It works lovely. It lasts all day. You may need to reapply it if you're eating and drinking, but I really like these. A very close second to that were the NYX Powder Puff Lippies. Now, I remember when these came out, there was a little bit of hype, and then nobody really spoke about them, and I do not know why, because these are wonderful. This one is Best Buds, and actually this is what I've got on today. As you can see, as I said, fairly pink in the tube, but actually quite nude on my skin tone. Has again one of these kind of fluffy felt type applicators, quite similar to the Lancome Matte Shakers. This is more of a kind of powder liquid lip situation. Not quite as comfortable as the Matte Shakers, but obviously not as expensive as the Matte Shakers. And in saying that, the red version of this is my absolute favourite red colour of 2018. I would generally go for a kind of nude, a plum, or a red. If I'm going anywhere, it's generally going to be red. It's my absolute favourite colour to wear. This is in Group Love and it is beautiful. Actually here it looks kind of orange, but it's much more on the blue side of red, and that is why I really like it, because it makes me, who has standard British smile, look like I have slightly whiter teeth than I do, which would be nice. Again, I love the product. These two colours are the ones I was wearing last year quite a lot, but this one, this is the trump. This is the top guy. If you like red lipsticks, if you like powdery, mattey, you want to try the Lancome but can't afford it, go and try this. Please go and try it. It's so good. And it wouldn't be a 2018 favourites if I didn't mention the Clinique Pop lipsticks. These are hands down, this isn't just a 2018 favourite, this is like a 5-year relationship I've maybe had with these lipsticks, and the colour I wear is Cherry Pop. I also have one in I think, which is Poppy Pop. It's a little bit more of a bright red. This is more of a kind of blood red colour. I also have Cake Pop and Party Pop as well. I love these lipsticks, but this is my absolute favourite. You can see I really have used it to death, and I actually have a backup of this colour because it is that much of my favourite. So if you like a red lipstick, this and the next one, go and try them. So that is it for my 2018 favourites. I'm sorry if this video was a little bit because I did film it already and I thought, oh bugger, I can't remember what I said, and I was already quite like, oh I like this, I like that, and then I had to film it again. I couldn't remember, so I apologise if it seems a little bit subpar. If you are new here, then hello and welcome, and please subscribe if you're enjoying the videos. If you are back, then it is so nice of you to return. Thank you very much for watching. So now that I've done this, there will be a January favourites coming up towards the end of next week, and I am going to do a February plan with me as well for my bullet journal, so hopefully you will look forward to that, and I hope to see you again soon. You can follow me over on Instagram or Twitter. You will always find me on Instagram, and I'm really trying to get to grips with Twitter, so if you'd like to do that, you can do that also. And thank you very much for watching. Bye.